Ahoy! Welcome into the Junk Drawer, part of the Cork Bats Podcast Network. You can call us Tennessee Vols fans because we're about to throw ourselves a good time. and because you'll probably leave this podcast very displeased. Today is October 18th, 2021. What is up, junkies? My name's Austin. That's AD. What's up, AD?
Awesome. That joke had some mustard on it. I like it. Great way to start the day.
There it is. There it is. Man, we're firing on all cylinders today.
Pumping out.
There it is. This is for those of you who are new to Cork Bats. This podcast is the Junk Drawer. This is our kind of our mainstay podcast, I guess, or like with the flagship podcast, I guess you would say.
Yeah. You can say that.
We just kind of like to talk about literally anything. Anything is on the table, and anything is on the table for you to talk about as well. If you want to comment along, some of the best comments will get featured on this podcast, so you can kind of steer the direction if you want to. Now, I realized last week that since Twitter has gotten rid of Periscope and moved just to broadcast, I guess it's Twitter broadcast is what they're called, that there's not an option to comment, or if there is, it doesn't make its way to us. So if you do want to comment along, either hop on our Facebook page, facebook.com/corkbats, or our YouTube page, same address, youtube.com/corkbats. And you can comment along there and we will see them. And the best comments will make it to the show, and you can kind of interact with us that way. Please share the show. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and hit a retweet. Give us a retweet. The more people we get in here, the more fun we have, better conversations we have, and let people know. Share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube. Do your part, and we'll have some fun this afternoon. We've got a lot to get into. We've got our good, back, ugly, as always. We've got 3 for 3 Frank fact, and we'll of course end with a Bowdoin college football update.
As always,
just for the record, AD and I never checked the Bowdoin college football schedule. This is the #1 podcast for Bowdoin college football. Go Polar Bears. But we never look up the schedule until literally we're live on this podcast, because we want that. We do that for you. We do that for the audience.
Well,
we want
maybe because they don't broadcast the games anywhere, so maybe that's part of it.
Well, and that also might have something to do with it.
Might have a factor.
Yeah,
into it,
and it's like, look, we're the #1 Bowdoin college football podcast. Like, I don't think any other podcasts are even looking up their scores.
Exactly. Yeah.
Talking about them. So that makes us the #1. Before we get to good, back, ugly, AD, quick name a woman.
Oh my gosh, you keep getting me with these. Sally Ride. I feel like I haven't used.
I feel like you use Sally Ride every other week.
Why do I always think of astronauts too? I don't know.
Why is Sally Ride your go-to woman? If there are 7 billion people on this earth, that means there are at least 3.5 billion women.
How's this one?
And
Aretha Franklin?
Are live.
Aretha Franklin.
All right, fine. All right, name a song.
Renegade, just because I heard it last night.
Okay,
Steelers game.
I thought you would have gone RESPECT.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into good, back, ugly. Let's talk about what's going on in the world. AD, what's your good of the week?
My good of the week this week is reunions.
Okay.
Our good friend Jared Goff is traveling to, the Rams are traveling to Detroit to square off, and head coach Sean McVay and Jared Goff know each other very well, as we can all recall, and they're going to be reunited for the first time since he left, obviously. And they are going to LA, and Jared Goff's record without McVay or anyone else as a head coach, let's say 0-13.
Whoa.
Jared Goff with Sean McVay as the head coach, 42-20. So let's just say Jared Goff is, how do I say, a system quarterback, or so that's a real issue though. Seeing those stats, it's not only jaw dropping, but number one, it makes you realize how bad the Lions are. They're clearly nowhere close to being a complete team yet. I mean, they've got to be at least maybe even a couple number 1 draft picks away from
Sure.
from being yeah, and we all saw the Jags get their win this weekend. So, hats off to the Jags and Urban Meyer. That was
well, before we give too much credit to the Jaguars, and this isn't coming from my complete disdain of the Jaguars franchise. Okay, that was a lie. This is coming from my complete disdain of the Jaguars franchise. The Jaguars are still winless in this continent.
Okay, all right.
Not
you have yourself a point.
So, am I wrong in saying that they have yet to win a game on this continent, on this hemisphere, even,
or this time zone, whatever you want to call it?
Blows your mind, doesn't it?
It really does. Wow, and it makes you think. It was Shad Khan. Was he happy that they got a win over there? Does that play for the case to make them move over there? Like, is that?
Oh yeah. Oh, anything to get Shad Khan closer to London and be the London Jaguars, I think he's happy with. Yeah. If in fact that could be part of his argument. He could tell that, I don't know if they have like a board or whatever, who he has to like prove it to. Maybe the other owners. He's like, hey, look, the Jaguars are competitive in London.
But all the other
here in the States, they're a walking map.
But all the other owners don't want them to move to London, probably because they know how well they play over there.
That's true. That's a great point. So it's like, Shad, he's really kind of digging himself into a hole here.
A hole that he potentially can't get out of or leave London with.
Right.
And
I'll say his mustache would probably play better in London, though. That is a European mustache if I've ever seen one.
You know what I was just thinking about? So obviously he's a very wealthy man. He owns the Jaguars, right?
Sure.
Do you think there's someone on his staff that is responsible for like greasing that baby up, like oiling that up?
Yeah.
And he just sits there. He's like on a phone call. And
right.
He's like,
he snaps his finger. He's like, Wilbur,
yeah,
get in here. And Wilbur comes running in, and Wilbur's only job is to just do this to his mustache every like 15 minutes. Just to make sure that it's like it's got the Raleigh fingers-esque on it.
yeah. And he needs it at a certain height at all times.
Right.
Like as soon as it goes down like a little bit like close to parallel with his lip, that's whenever there's issues.
Right. Do you think when Shad Khan gets aroused, his mustache like just points straight out? I didn't think we'd be talking about Shad Khan being aroused on a Monday afternoon, but here we are.
Well, I mean, it's Victory Monday for him, so I'm sure there's a lot going on over there.
Well, hey, look, speaking of aroused, Urban Meyer lives to see another week.
Yeah. Good transition there. Yeah,
thanks.
Oh wow, yeah, and you know what? This team needed it. It would do wonders. As I think he said, wonders for this team.
Yeah,
a victory.
Well, I'll say the wonders. People are wondering how the Jaguars are even still in the NFL. Those are the wonders that it worked for his team. But no, congratulations, Jags. You won a game, but I won a game. I won't believe it until you win a game on this continent. But anyway, we completely derailed from Jared Goff, system quarterback.
Yeah, so I mean, he can't even recover from that, and he is approaching very quickly the Eli Manning 500 record territory. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
He's 42-33 as a starter.
Okay.
In the NFL, and he is towing the line there. I mean, going from he was up here whenever they went to that Super Bowl. Like, the future was so bright for him, and then now watching him play in Detroit, you're just like, it really just makes you wonder.
Now, is that a knock on Jared Goff, or is like Detroit just like a black hole of a franchise to where it's like, what black holes do? They suck.
Yeah.
And I think is that just because Matthew Stafford was in
Well,
Detroit.
That's a great example. That's a great example there.
And now all of a sudden he's freed, like the Aladdin and Genie. I mean,
and he's playing out of his
he's
playing out of his mind, though.
He's playing phenomenal. So is this like people are actually mentioning MVP and Matt Stafford in the same sentence?
Stafford.
Like, is it just because like, is it one of those things where it's like you just go to Detroit and all of a sudden like your talents are just, like you have to check them at the airport or something and they don't give them back until you leave?
like in Space Jam, like they have a football that does the same
Right.
thing, and they all have to put their hand on it before they start to play with them.
Yeah. Is Detroit the basketball from Space Jam?
Well, and you know what else though? Which will really blow your mind is think about if Megatron was on another team. Because obviously him and Stafford were great together, but what if the two of them were just on a different team? Could they be Super Bowl champions? Maybe.
Right.
Could
Right.
multiple Super Bowl? Who knows at this point?
It's a good question, and I also think like, what if Megatron was on any other franchise? Like, would he have like put up like 300-yard receiving weeks every single week? Like, would he have been even better than he was? Like, the dude is literally a Hall of Famer. Would he have been like I don't know, like, I don't even know how you can get better than what he did in Detroit.
Yeah, right.
But like, you just have to, like, it makes you think. It really makes you think.
Well, okay. Well, here's a question for you. Obviously, he was a great player. I think deserve the Hall of Fame. If his career ended today, would Matthew Stafford also be in the Hall of Fame?
Ooh,
because that's one of those like weird questions. But I mean, if you just look at his resume, I would say probably no.
There's a lot of people that are like, they hold Matthew Stafford's like, because Matthew Stafford's always been great statistically, and like he's always put up great numbers.
Playoffs though, right?
Well, yeah, and he's I think he only made the playoffs once, maybe, in Detroit, and he didn't win a game. I think, I don't know.
I don't think he's won a playoff game.
Okay, yeah, I know he hasn't won a playoff game, but I think he's made the playoffs once. But regardless, people are saying like, oh, because his stats are so amazing that he
has three playoff appearances.
Three playoff appearances and no wins, right?
0 wins.
Yeah. Okay. So then they say like, oh, his stats are so great because Detroit's always throwing the ball late.
Yeah, they're always trying to play catch up in a
right.
game.
And so like he's just picking up stats in garbage time.
That goes for Megatron too. I mean, think about all those games late that he's that Hail Mary I'm thinking of.
Yeah, right.
He goes up and grabs it. But
no, you're not wrong.
It's just something to be. I think it's probably easier for a position player to get into the Hall of Fame than a quarterback, right? Like a quarterback, the litmus test is winning a Super Bowl, right? At least one, right. Or else you're probably not going to get into the Hall of Fame.
I know it's so hard to win a Super Bowl. Like people still refer to Kurt Warner as a Super Bowl champion. He won a Super Bowl his first year in the league.
And then didn't win again.
Well, first year starting in the league, I should say.
Yeah.
But then didn't win again after that. But like people still refer to him as Super Bowl champion Kurt Warner.
Has Jared Goff won a game since that Super Bowl? I don't think he has.
Oh, damn. damn.
Yeah, that hurt.
All right.
Exhale.
All right. Is that you got your good of the week?
Yes, that's my good. What do you got for us?
Okay. My good of the week is the Tennessee fans. According to Tennessee fans. No, they had themselves a night on Saturday night. And
I'm glad that we're talking about this because obviously I saw the response on Twitter, but I don't even know what actually happened. Like,
okay.
Or like how it started. I know Lane Kiffin was involved. I know like the players, but like I don't know what happened. So I'm glad that we're here to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. No. If there are riots going on in Knoxville, I'd say there's a good chance Lane Kiffin is involved somehow, and he was on Saturday night.
Right.
He was at the epicenter of it all. There was some poor officiating in the game. There was, you can't not mention that there was some bad officiating, some calls that went against Tennessee Vols. I don't know if like calls that were necessarily warranted just chucking items onto the field. But look, that's neither here nor there. Like I'm not a Vols fan, so I don't know. But AD, and it was a wild scene. It was you had Lane Kiffin getting hit with a golf ball at one point. You had
which is. Do you normally take golf balls with you to a football game?
I can't remember. Like I'm not gonna say no, but I'm hard pressed to remember the last time I brought a golf ball to a football game. So
well, hear me out though, because it was a night game, right?
you know,
So
look, let
7:30.
he who hasn't brought a golf ball to
Yes.
a college football game cast the first golf ball.
right. But this is probably I'm gonna make an excuse for the guy just because I don't know who it was, but you know, it was a night game. It was a 7:30 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you know, he probably had himself a day. You know, he probably woke up, shot some golf with his buddies, you know, before the game, before they started tailgating.
Yep.
Left it in his pocket.
Shot some booze.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Left it in his pocket, and then he like gets in the game. He's like, "Oh my god, I left this golf ball in my pocket."
Sure.
He's like, "Let me just get rid of this," and then just like chucks it. I mean, it just makes sense for him.
Right.
Yeah,
he probably wasn't even trying to hit Lane Kiffin with it. He was probably just like, oh, I don't want to carry this around all the way back to my car after the game. Like, so he's just, you know, just throws it away. And it just so happens that it nearly, you know, decapitates Lane Kiffin. But no, so I've got, and then as Lane Kiffin's walking off the field, one fan throws something at him and he like Odell Beckham's. I don't know if you saw this video. Odell Beckham's a water bottle. He's got security guards and like cops all around him.
They're probably trying to bat it down from him, aren't they?
No, they ducked out of the way. And Lane Kiffin just like a badass just freaking makes this one-handed grab like Odell. It was incredible. I was like, I've never been more impressed with a college football coach in my entire life. And like Nick Saban has won what, hundreds of national championships, give or take.
Doesn't stand up to that.
Nothing Nick Saban has done has been nearly as impressive as Lane Kiffin just one-handing that water bottle, just being chucked from the sky. And then he takes it and then just throws it away. Then he takes off his visor, tosses it up into the stands. Like the same people that are dogging him are then fighting over his visor in the stands, which I thought was really funny and ironic.
Okay, yeah, that is ironic. But wait a second. So the fans were mad at the refs, right?
Yeah.
But how did
the fans were mad at the refs and just how the whole game pretty much ended? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
But so obviously Tennessee lost, right?
Tennessee lost
like that.
yeah.
Was it?
You could tell by the amount of debris on the field. It's only
right.
half that much debris if they win.
Yeah.
Well, AD, I have actually put together a list.
Okay,
I have put together a
good.
list of the top 11 things that Tennessee fans threw onto the field. Okay. Since you missed the game, this can kind of give you a better visual as to what all the field was littered with. And I watched the tape. I went back and I studied the photos and I went and I found the most surprising things, the top 11 things that Tennessee fans threw onto the field that were just shocking to me. Okay. Starting with number 11. Pom-poms / shakers. Okay.
Yeah, that's understandable.
This one's a given, like what you'd expect a student section to throw, whether there was bad officiating or not. Like that's just what you'd expect. Like, it would be on the field regardless, right? Right.
You know, just leaving it at the game. You know, people don't care about those things.
I don't know when college programs are going to learn just not to give students for like free things, because like one of two things is going to happen with them. Actually, one things is going to happen to them. They're going to be thrown onto the field at some point.
Yeah, so, that's it. There's really no other option.
Number 10, cans of Michelob Ultra. Okay. Oh. Now I'm not sure if they threw these because they were mad at the officiating or if just because of the general lack of taste that Michelob Ultras have. It is.
Or maybe they just got done working out, you know, like in those commercials they used to have, like there's
right. Yeah, those probably came from the nosebleeds. You know, you walk those stadium steps up to your seat, and you get to the very top row, and you're like, man, I need to replenish myself with a healthy beer. And then they get the Michelob
and low carbs too.
Low carbs, right? People forget that. Number 9, golf balls. Yeah. Again, we talked about the golf ball.
Thought it would be higher actually. So this list must be getting really good.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. Yeah. If golf balls, if throwing golf balls at a college football game is number 9 on my list, that should just tell you the kind of things that they throw. Number 8, Papa John's pizza boxes.
Papa was in the house, huh?
Yeah. This is kind of the same answer as the Michelob Ultra cans. You know, it's like they was probably just for the lack of taste.
It tasted like the box they were throwing.
Which if that's the reason they threw it on the field, then look, I don't hold anything against Tennessee fans.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, a vape pen. Vape
Oh man,
pen.
someone just got rid of theirs like
Someone's
that.
chucking vape pens. And look, I don't want to make it sound like I'm coming to the defense of Tennessee fans because what they did, it was nasty and it was awful and it should never take place ever in a sporting event. And they're not the only
Right.
ones. They're not the only ones who have done it, but they're the most recent ones to do it.
Correct. Yeah.
But if the person was chucking the vape pen away, like out of their own health and safety, I can't be mad at that. I can't.
They're taking steps to improve their health,
right?
And this is the first step.
And I think we've all seen those truth ads, you know. Maybe they just saw one of those commercials and they're like, "Oh, damn, vape pens are bad for me." And chucks it out to the field, you know.
Or maybe the vape pen was just simply out, like it ran out of juice or whatever it was.
And that could very well be it too. Yeah. In fact, that's probably what it was. A lot of vaping going on. Like people thought, oh wow, Tennessee invested in some cool smoke machines. Nope, it's just Vols fans love to
huge
vape.
Clouds. Yeah,
right. Yeah, Tennessee vaping tears. The number 6 mustard bottle.
Again, I saw that. I knew that was coming, so I was hoping it would be higher, but damn, this list must be getting
the mustard bottle. Right. I think that was the shocker for us all because it was like there was the question like who brings a mustard, like for the guy who brought the golf ball to the game is probably thanking the guy who brought the mustard.
Like,
because he's like, thank you. Because here I'd look ridiculous bringing a golf ball, but you, my friend, you've outdone me. People completely forgot that I brought a golf ball to the stadium. You brought a damn mustard, like a squeeze it mustard bottle. And it was a big bottle. It was like the kind of bottles you get at like Costco. It was not like
there's no way that was empty. It's like, like if you're planning a tailgate, like your one tailgate of the year or whatever, and you go to Costco and you get those giant ones, those are in the trash, like that. Like there's no chance that you're. So maybe he was just getting rid of it.
Right. And it was French's brand, not Great Value brand. Like it was like that's a pretty good bottle of mustard.
Like someone ponied up for that.
Right. Right. They're like, you know what? Hey, if anything happens to the game tonight, I came prepared. And he's like got the mustard like in his jacket. How do you even get that in past security? Like,
that's what I was about to say. Good thing we aren't going through the airport, or else they'd have to throw it away before they even went to the security line.
8 ounces or less. People forget that. I want to know like what security was like. All right, sir, put everything into the bin as you walk through the metal detector, and the person pulls out a bottle of mustard, and like the security guard just looks at it and like just hands it to him. Like it's not like that's a normal thing to bring into a college football game. But look, I'm not one to judge. Okay. Again, let he who hasn't thrown a bottle of mustard at a college football game cast the first bottle of mustard. All right. Number 5, illegal narcotics.
Oh,
if they were throwing them away because drugs are bad again, then I think it's okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I didn't do like my due diligence, but I'm just going by the odds that there was probably some methamphetamine, probably some bags of Coke, some, there were probably items of drugs and drug paraphernalia in that pile of rubbish. Okay. Number 4, a human baby. That's right. There was a human baby on the field.
No.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Someone threw their child onto the field. Okay. Is it ridiculous? Sure. Was the officiating bad? Yes. Okay.
I was going to say the officiating must have been really bad.
The officiating is for them to throw a damn human baby onto the field. You got to think. At what point does the SEC start looking inward and being like, man, maybe our officiating is so bad that someone would throw their firstborn child onto the field to make it stop. Number 3, unopened copies of Crazy Stupid Love on DVD. Now that's just a great movie. That's just a good movie. Like, I don't understand that one.
Imagine throwing that onto a football field. I could not.
Especially unopened, like at least like take out like the DVDs before you chuck the box, but unopened, like that's a, and it has got some great bonus features on there.
Think about all the deleted scenes you could watch too.
Right. Steve Carell, Kevin Bacon, freaking Ryan Gosling. Emma Stone. That cast is amazing. I would
Star-studded.
keep that DVD just strictly for the commentary alone.
Actually, I don't think I'd ever open it and save it and possibly pass it down to my kids as a family heirloom.
That's because you're a loving father right there.
That's
You
right.
don't even have
Yep.
kids, but I can just tell you're going to be a loving father. Number 2, newborn puppies. All right. All right. This is
baby was one thing, but come on.
right.
Puppies.
Look, we overlooked the newborn baby being thrown to the field, but Tennessee fans are throwing newborn puppies onto the field. Like,
unbelievable.
And I get it. They have a puppy on the field during games, Smokey. Okay. But that doesn't mean that the field has just all of a sudden become like a pound. You don't need to just be throwing puppies onto the field. That's ridiculous.
It's not the puppy bowl.
It's not the puppy. That's a good point, AD. It's not Fleeland Stadium. Classic. And number 1,
very good.
The number 1 most repulsive thing that the Tennessee Vols fans threw into the field on Saturday night: Dasani water bottles. Of all the water bottles in the world, you have Dasani in your possession. Like, I wouldn't even be caught dead with Dasani.
Jeez.
Which, again, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's why they were throwing it. Maybe they're like, hey, can I get
this water sucks.
Can I get a bottle of water? And the vendor gives them a bottle of Dasani, and they just, what is this crap? And they just chuck it onto the field. So in that case, I get it. But okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That does it. That's my top 11 things, most repulsive things that I found.
A surprising list. Very surprising.
And I was surprised going through it, sifting through the footage and the tape and the photos. Yeah. I was surprised to find that many things thrown onto the field on a Saturday night. But yeah. Anyway, AD, what do you got for your back of the week?
I have 2 backs. My first back of the week. This is a big one for us on the junk drawer here. The NBA is back, and
yeah,
as we do every year, let's make a prediction. Who you got? And let's not do Eastern Conference or Western Conference. Let's just pick who we think is going to win it all. So, Austin, do you want me to start or do you want to start? I know every year we always have good picks, and I think we were right last year.
I mean, I don't know if we've ever made a prediction on this podcast where we were wrong when it came to the NBA. We know the NBA probably better than
just
Dara, like most podcasts out there. And you're people are probably like, well, why don't people talk about your podcast more? That we don't know. We don't know.
We're trying to figure that out. But all we know is that we give great advice and great tips on just outcomes of seasons. So
without question,
it's important.
Right. I think the Titans jersey behind me and the Steelers hat on your head right now just show how big of an NBA podcast this is.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Why don't you go first? Okay. And let's just drop our predictions right now.
All right. So yeah, I think this year, I think it's gonna be the Lakers' year. LeBron is a really good player, and I think it's gonna be their year. So
okay.
Let's who do you got this year?
I think that I think it's gonna be the Lakers' year.
You
LeBron,
too?
Yeah, just LeBron is like a really good player,
nice.
And I just think I think this is their year.
Can we call LeBron a friend of the show? Since
he did laugh at our Jason Kidd caller post. Yeah, so I do think LeBron is now a friend of the podcast, which we will try and get him on at a later date. Haven't yet, just because the season.
I was going to say the season's starting, so we probably won't.
We're not going to be those guys that are like, "Hey, can you join our podcast right before the season?"
Like right away, right?
We'll ask right before 0 Dark 3023 starts or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, though.
Yeah, should be.
Oh, I also have another back of the week.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
That was our NBA predictions. Go ahead.
And we both picked the Lakers, for those of you who did not see it. Back of the week is whatever Jack... Did you see this?
No.
What the hell is his last name? Jack. He's the Bengals offensive lineman. Let me pull up his name here, because clearly that's not his name on the
His name isn't the Giant, with Giant spelled with a J.
No, it's not. It's not. Jackson Carman. So not Jack the Giant, but Jackson Carman.
Okay.
Whatever he ate in Detroit is now back. Is now back. So, before the game, October 16th. So that must have been when they were traveling to Detroit. He asked, "What's Detroit known for food-wise?"
Okay. All right. I think it's a pretty fair question.
Pretty fair question. Let's fast forward here to the game. Let me just make sure it's this one. Yep, this is it. Fast forward to the game. This is Jackson Carman throwing up on the football field.
Oh no. Oh no.
So,
oh no.
Whatever he ate in Detroit, and rumor has it that he was perhaps at the Mom Spaghetti place.
No, at Eminem's new spaghetti shop.
So after he tweeted the "What's Detroit known for?" yesterday, he tweeted, "Would not recommend eating Mom Spaghetti when you visit Detroit."
Well, hold on. If you eat Mom Spaghetti, you got to know there's going to be vomit on your sweater already.
And clearly he hasn't listened to the song. Maybe he's too young for the song.
Like that would be it's kind of like when you get Taco Bell, you know you're going to be sitting on the crapper for the next 4 hours.
Right. Yes.
Like if you get Mom Spaghetti, you got to know there's going to be vomit on your sweater already.
It's almost obvious, actually.
Right.
And
it just comes with the territory.
And then
I'd be pissed off if I ate Mom Spaghetti and I didn't vomit
and
all
you
over
didn't
my
throw
sweater.
up, right?
Yeah.
So he had to follow it up. This is 2 hours ago. He tweeted, "FYI," and this is probably someone from Eminem's camp probably contacted him and said, "Yo, you got to take that down, man." He's like, I did not actually try the Mom Spaghetti restaurant while I was in Detroit. I was referencing the Eminem song lyrics.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah.
So if he expects us to believe that, then come on. There's just absolutely no chance that's true.
Is Detroit known for, and I like Detroit a lot. I want this to be known. I know we were kind of clowning on the Lions earlier, but I like Detroit, and
I've never been. I'll be honest, I've never been.
It's a nice city. It's on its way back up. I feel like Detroit for a long time was clowned as just this dilapidated, rundown city. No, it's coming back, and it's coming back strong. And
is it your back of the week, Detroit?
Sure. Yeah, I'll throw it on my list. Yeah, Detroit is my for good, back, ugly. Detroit is my back of the week. I love Detroit, and I will say this: I don't know what they're known for food wise, but I do know, and maybe this is it, but they do have their own style of pizza.
And
not talked about enough, but you got New York style, you got Chicago style. Detroit style, I would say, is third on the list when it comes to delicious styles of pizza.
I have had Detroit style pizza. There used to be a place in Pittsburgh, and it was excellent.
It's
excellent.
If you've ever had Jets pizza, that's basically Detroit style pizza. If you ever
had like the crispy crust on the edges,
deep dish,
right?
Not deep dish, but like the
sort of like that though.
Personal pan pizza type.
Pan pizza, yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Well,
it's
actually,
so good.
Look what speaking of friend of the show here, Grit, our buddy Grit here. You see him?
Detroit pizza looks like lasagna, but shittier. No. I'd say Chicago style looks like that. Chicago style is the deep dish, where it's like a casserole. That's Chicago style. Detroit style is I would eat Jets pizza all the time. It's good.
Is that a chain, Jets pizza?
I think so.
Or is that a place that you said that before? Is that, I don't know if I've ever had it. Looks like it is.
Yeah, Jets. I think. Yeah. So you've never had Jets?
No, never had Jets.
Oh, yeah, Jets pizza is everywhere. I think. I guess everywhere but Pittsburgh. That's because you guys are too busy in your pierogies.
No, there is a Jets pizza in Pittsburgh. I just don't know if it's the same chain.
Jets has, is it a little guy on a rocket ship, like a rocket pack strapped to his back? That's
And that's the logo?
Yeah.
No, that's not him, I guess.
Oh, poor guy. Okay, maybe it's not the right Jets. Well, here, why don't
Okay.
you do this? Why don't you make an excuse? You get an excuse now. Go get some Jets, bring it back, take a
Yeah,
photo.
okay.
Take a photo, tweet it out, and then we'll let you know if it's Jets or not.
Yeah, okay. All right, I will.
Okay. All right. Is that all you got for your back of the week?
Yeah, my back is mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. My back of the week, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh boy.
His
Yes,
brother. Patrick Mahomes' brother.
Okay, well, if it wasn't Patrick, then it's got to be Jackson. So
Yeah.
or his wife.
Patrick Mahomes' brother is Patrick Mahomes, as we all know, still looks dumb in a helmet. But
True.
for Patrick Mahomes' brother, so the Chiefs played the Washington football team in DC yesterday, and it was on Sean Taylor
Retirement
Remembrance Day. Yes.
And speaking of which, did you see Chase Young's helmet? He taped it to look like
did.
Sean Taylor's. That was so sick.
When I first saw it, I didn't know what he was doing. I was like, "What is this like a Pop Warner football jamboree?" Remember like in Pop Warner, guys used to always do that.
Like the just crazy amounts of tape on everything, right?
Yes.
I liked how scary he looked though, because it really does add a little element that is scary.
I think Chase Young could literally do anything and it would be scary. If he wore like a damn tutu on the field, I'd be like, "Oh, damn, tutus are scary now." Tutus are you do
tutus
not want to mess. Yeah, right. Yeah. Tutus are back. No, so Jackson Mahomes was at the game, and as we know, Jackson Mahomes has had himself possibly a rougher season than his brother, Patrick. Patrick has not played well this season.
The only thing Jackson can't do is throw interceptions. So yeah, I can.
Right. Jackson Mahomes has had just as bad of a season as Patrick has, only with fewer interceptions. A couple more TikToks and a few more interceptions, and that's Jackson Mahomes this season. And he obviously we remember when he poured the water on the Ravens fan. He what was it? Did he do something last week when Brittany Mahomes was in your ugly of the week? I'm gonna say.
I don't know if he did anything in that particular case, but still,
the guy has been like a freaking embarrassment for I would say the Mahomes family, but I'm just gonna go ahead and spread it out to just all the Chiefs fans.
It's almost the entire NFL, actually. If you think about it,
probably the entire NFL except for Titans and Steelers. Would be my guess. And so he comes. So yesterday he does his little pregame TikTok. Okay. And you're like, okay.
Wait, Juju or Jackson Mahomes?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. No, see, Juju would be in
Jackson Mahomes.
Juju would be in a sling right now. So this is clearly Jackson. And he does this dance. Now, you're probably like, okay, so what? He does a TikTok. He does like 19 TikToks per game every single week. What's the big deal? Well, look where he's standing. He's standing inside a roped area. Okay, maybe it's a VIP center or area for family of the opposing team's quarterback. And then you look a little closer, and nope, he's standing. That right there is the edge of a 21, as in 21 for Sean Taylor. He is standing on the 21 of Sean Taylor that they painted on the field to remember him, because they were retiring his number, honoring him all day, and they roped it off.
Oh my goodness. He's outdone himself. He's outdone himself this time.
I don't know what goes through Jackson Mahomes' mind. Actually, yes, I do. It's nothing. But when nothing goes through his mind, he's clearly thinking, oh, that area is roped off. Must be roped off for me to get this sick dance. First of all, he's not even a good dancer. Has anyone ever stopped to talk about that? Like, he's not even good at the TikTok dances.
So what's obviously this is extremely offensive and disrespectful, really, because that's exactly what it is.
Oh, it's extremely
disrespectful. Is this how players felt whenever
what? Did I lose you? AD.
Yo, I'm here.
Oh, what'd you say? Is this how players felt? What?
Well, is this so? Obviously, this is extremely disrespectful.
Yes.
Is this how players felt whenever Juju was dancing on their team's logos? Is this how they felt?
Yes, except the logos weren't painted on the field to remember
Remember
a dead
someone.
guy. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
that is just that is Juju dancing on opposing teams' logos to the nth degree. Like
Yeah,
that is taking it
is.
and just going so far, like hard in the paint, if you will. But yeah, Jackson Mahomes. So and then I loved this this tweet from from someone. So Jackson Mahomes came out and apologized. And he said, I want to sincerely apologize for accidentally being on the Sean Taylor number 21 at FedEx Field. We were directed to stand in that area. And I meant absolutely no disrespect to him or his family. First of all, any wherewithal, any like realization of where you were standing, you would have known. Like, or knowing anything about football, you would have known, oh, today's all about Sean Taylor. Oh, 20. Oh, he wore 20. Oh, they're retiring 21 today. And then looking down and realizing that you're standing on a 21 that's roped off. Maybe that would be your first tell. But look, if it's not, okay, I'll give him that. I'll give him that for whatever reason. But then to like, I guarantee you no one was like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Jackson Mahomes. Or actually, they probably call him, excuse me, Patrick Mahomes' brother, which is what his name should be.
Why would he ever be told to stand there, though?
That's what I like. Nobody would be like, excuse me, sir, can you stand inside the roped off area? Can you stand inside the one area of this entire field that is roped off, please? And he was like, oh, yeah. Oh, you must be a subscriber. Thanks, dude. Hey, listen, I appreciate you and all that you do. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Give me a like and a follow. And
is
at
that all
Jackson Mahomes on TikTok, yo.
Is that all it is anymore though? TikToks, like you just like go like this, or like just make random movements.
No,
like...
that's the thing. I think he's just really bad at TikTok, and nobody's pointing that fact out. Like the most offensive thing of him doing that, like the dance was more offensive than him doing it on Sean Taylor's number, and him doing it on Sean Taylor's number was hella offensive. So that should tell you like just how awful this dude is. And then I love the tweet where he said, you were directed to stand in an area that was roped off.
That's what I can't comprehend is that how, in what situation would they ever like say like, hey, go stand on something we painted on the field, and roped it off? Like no one. And we're just supposed to believe that he was like, is this something like? Did anyone else make a statement about this? Or
I don't know. The football team. Now look, if there was any team that would rope off an area and then tell opposing fans to stand inside of it, it would be the Washington football team. Obviously, like I think if there's one thing we've learned in the last 18, well, I was gonna say 18 months, but probably 18 years, it's that the Washington football team's not very well run.
Right.
But
well, yeah, that just shows how brainwashed. It's kind of sad. It's
here's
kind of
Mob.
sad, actually.
Mob from the Cinnaboys is in. Chiefs fan. Chiefs fan is in. He says, to be fair to Jackson, he was told to stand there. To be fair to everyone else, he sucks. So roast him. And Michael O'Brien. And there's pictures of other people standing in there with him. Well, yeah, clearly whoever filmed the video is standing in there with him.
He was probably, yo, come in here real quick. I'm gonna get a sick TikTok. Like
the person that was filming was very clearly standing
inside.
Yeah, standing inside. Because look, the person's in the roped off area with them and they're backing up. But anyway, that's look, Mob is just trying to come to the defense of a guy who's indefensible.
It's sort of like brainwashed, though, you know, like it's kind of sad.
Grit says, I doubt anyone told him to stand between those ropes. I'm with you, Grit. I highly disagree. But anyway, my other back of the week is Succession. Succession is back. Started last night.
No spoilers. I got to catch up.
I haven't watched it yet either. You were at the game last night. I was watching baseball last night. Yeah, just one episode in. So the Roy family is back, and I feel like things are about to go down this season. But
did you watch Squid Game yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right.
No spoilers.
Let me know when you do.
Oh, I will.
Let me know when you do. All right.
I will be. Trust me. Once when we start like posting a lot more Squid Games memes, I think that'll be your tell that I've finally gotten on the train. All right. Good back ugly. What's your ugly of the week?
My ugly of the week, Mr. Jamal Adams. Let me pull this up here. Close out of that. Oh, actually, sorry, not Jamal Adams. Russell Wilson. My ugly of the week.
The other short Seahawk.
My ugly of the week are just tryhards. You know, it's something that it kind of just really makes me mad. And so this is Russell Wilson before the Steelers game last night, and clearly Russell Wilson just had surgery on his throwing hand, so there's absolutely no chance that Russell is playing in this football game. But here's Russell, like gym class hero dweeb that he is, going through like his like warm-ups routine. You know, he's just like out there, like, and I think the NFL posted this and said, working
toward the next streak of starts.
Like what is that caption even? The top comment here, cornball. And that's exactly what it is. It's just like, first of all, why did he even make the trip to Pittsburgh? Like, is that?
Hold on, dude. I love the clip that was just played before this one of him on his knee going through the reps of being in the huddle. Like he was literally calling out a play to no one. He's in a huddle with no one. Look at that. Anyone
else?
There's no one standing around him, and he's on a knee talking like as if he's calling out a play in a huddle. And then he claps his hands and gets up and then like runs to the line. Like, my man, dude. Yeah, I think tryhard was a very good term that you coined for Russ Wilson, because that's just absurd. This is like the LeBron James when he knows all the cameras are on him and he's overreacts to foul calls and things like that. That's this, but the football version.
But is it? I don't recall. I guess it's pretty normal for a starting quarterback to travel with the team, even if he's injured, right?
Sure, definitely.
I guess that is pretty normal. But
yeah,
I mean, part of me is like, what, you know, it wasn't just that though, right? So let me pull up the other screen here. So he did a lot last night, and he certainly did not play. The fine folks over at Pick Six Podcast put together everything that he did, actually. He did a lot.
Mob says Mr. Unbearable.
Unbearable is Mr.
right. Unlimited. Mr. Unbearable.
That sounds much better. So he was throwing left-handed. So, you know, maybe he's going to switch his throwing hands, possibly. So they called that an imaginary 2-minute drill is what he was running there.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you huddle in a 2-minute drill.
He did the coin toss in overtime. Like, I mean, come on. Just like let Geno Smith do this for once.
Wait, he did the coin toss? He walked out there?
He did the coin toss.
Oh my gosh.
Like, Russell, there's such thing as doing too much. And Russell, you blew that out of the water with this one.
Oh my gosh.
I think the worst thing are those pregame warmups with no one there, you know, him just going through the motions. I'm glad Mob said that. It truly is Mr. Unbearable.
Oh my gosh. Ross, dude. I don't like, sometimes it's just okay to be injured. Sometimes it's okay to just, you know,
sure.
And look, if you want to warm up and stuff, fine. But like, let's not be warming up like you're playing that night. Like Dak Prescott's warm-ups think those warm-ups are ridiculous. And Dak is still playing.
You see this one here with the eye roll. Looks like he didn't like the play call or something. He's like, oh, gee.
Yeah, he's like, why are we running that play? Oh, jeez.
There he is doing the coin toss. I
Oh
mean,
my
he just looks ridiculous out there.
Who do you think's the most injured quarterback in that shot right there with the coin toss of Russ Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger?
I think I saw something. Big Ben has sustained, or at least on the injury report, more injuries than anyone in the entire NFL this year. So,
that doesn't surprise me.
The guy is just playing through.
You got to commend.
Injuries, I guess.
Look, let's give. No one's giving Big Ben any respect or props this week. Let's give Big Ben some props.
Jeez.
Thank
you. Thank you.
No, I've got your back, dude. That dude is a warrior, and anyone would be lucky to have him as their quarterback. All right, my back of the week.
Or your ugly.
My ugly of the week. My ugly of the week. Ed Orgeron chasing tail.
Oh gosh. And this is another thing. I saw the headlines. I don't know what happened. Or is it just because they're bad? Like that's what I couldn't figure out. Because it seems to me that he did a lot for that team,
right?
That school,
right? So LSU, right? So over the weekend, LSU announces that they're moving on from Ed Orgeron.
Mm-hmm.
This comes just 21 months after winning a national title.
Okay, I knew it was recently, but I didn't think. I thought it was. Wow.
21 months after literally fielding one of the greatest college football teams in the history of the sport. You could say that LSU, undefeated LSU team that won the national title with Joe Burrow as their quarterback, you would be hard-pressed not to fit them into a top 10, top 5 all-time greatest college football teams ever. They were phenomenal. Ed Orgeron has a $17 million buyout. Ed Orgeron, like think about that for a second. Think about how bad a school wants to move on from a coach for them to be like, let's light $17 million on fire. let's just pull out this little Zippo.
I mean, he's got to be happy about that, right? Like you think he's done coaching? Is he gonna?
I don't know. But so now you're probably like, this is ridiculous on LSU's part. LSU, like he just won you a national title and you're already moving on from him this quickly. Like that's a little absurd. Like, yeah, they've had some bad losses over the last 2 seasons. One of which to my alma mater, not to brag. Shout out Mizzou beating LSU the year after they won the national title. In fact, I think Mizzou is the reason that they have had this downfall.
That was the catalyst.
Mizzou beats you in football, and then it's just like it's all downhill from there. So Ed Orgeron says, so now they're moving on from Ed Orgeron, and people are like, this is ridiculous. LSU needs to get over themselves. Like they just won you do realize how bad teams would kill to be 21 months removed from a national title.
Title, yeah.
You don't realize how good you have it right now. He's just going through a rough patch. Let him work it out. But look, Ed Orgeron isn't coaching this PR battle that LSU has been putting out there. So LSU wasn't about to lose it. All right. They came ready. They had their guns loaded with ammo, ready to go after Ed Orgeron to like kind of leak some stories, leak some intel as to why Ed Orgeron has been let go. And this is some of the details. So an Athletic piece came out on Coach O's firing, and this is one of the bits from it. It says, for our podcast audience, it says, then at his most powerful, and this is just an excerpt from the Athletic article, then at his most powerful and his most wealthy, Orgeron was single again, as in no longer married. He had just signed a 6-year, $42 million extension and was a Louisiana hero, all of which is true. And he was going to enjoy it. And it says, quote, something that had priority in his life that didn't have a priority before was talking to women, one LSU source said. Quote, that just became too high on the totem pole. Also, look, if we're talking about Ed Orgeron chasing tail, let's maybe use a different word than totem pole. I think we could, it's a little too phallic for my liking. But so then,
Oh my God.
so then here's some more excerpts, and these come via Jack McGuire at Jack Mac CFB. These are a couple of more excerpts. It created messes for him, like the time Orgeron pulled up to a woman at a gas station wearing exercise attire. Look, Ed Orgeron, the least surprising of this story is Ed Orgeron is a sucker for some yoga pants.
Yeah,
He sees a girl at Lululemon and I bet he actually makes cartoon dog barking noises. Like when a wolf sees a cute woman in a cartoon. That's probably what Ed Orgeron does.
That is Ed Orgeron. Yeah.
So, bazoinga, bazoinga. Like that's probably Ed Orgeron. So he says, "Hey, you look like you work out," he said, according to multiple sources. "We could work out together." The woman informed Orgeron she was married and pregnant, to which he responded, "Why does that matter?" Oh my gosh, Eddie. Oh, geez, dude. Like, keep it in your pants.
He's a hound dog.
Literally a hound dog. All right. And then check this out. That woman that he was barking at was the wife of a high-ranking LSU official. Word of this reached the LSU Board of Supervisors, the collection of prominent Louisiana attorneys and business owners appointed by the governor who make the most important decisions at LSU. And of course, it reached LSU athletic director Scott Woodward. So I can't imagine Baton Rouge. I imagine it's like a big little town, like, and when I say
everyone knows everybody.
Yeah, like it's a college town through and through. So like you have to be careful if you're gonna hit on some woman
at the gas station, nonetheless.
In athletic pants. Hey, we could work out together. And when she says I'm married and pregnant, you say, "Why does that matter?" I mean, damn, Ed. Like he thinks that sun-kissed skin is.
What's unfortunate for him is. It's unfortunate that he's so recognizable that like there's no mistaking that it's him, right? Like there's no way you could say.
Also, I think they misquoted him in this article. He said, "Hey, you look like you work out. We could work out together." I think what he really said was, "I would make Sigma take a move to go to in the world."
Maybe she misunderstood him.
Yeah, maybe she thought he said, "Hey, you look like work out," but he was probably just saying something like, "Hey, these gas pumps are working. It's not reading my credit card." Like that's all he could have been saying. You don't know.
Oh my God.
And then lastly, the saga doesn't really end there. With regards to Orgeron's personal life, this comes at MC Trent 23, who is a weekend sports reporter for the local sports station down there. He says, with regards to Orgeron's personal life bleeding into his coaching life, sources also tell WBRZ that there were multiple practices where quote unquote girlfriends, that's girlfriends plural, would be in attendance at practice and would quote interfere to the degree of children of the women taking part in drills with the team. Ed Orgeron would be out here like bringing his Tinder dates to practice and letting their kids participate in drills. Like, no wonder LSU football sucks right now. Their first team players have to like split reps with children of Ed O's dates.
This is truly incredible. I had no clue this was happening.
Just absolutely phenomenal, just insane. My man is out here babysitting when he should probably be coaching. And it is not to quote Shark Tank, but it is for that reason that why he's out.
They are out. Yes.
So, all right, let's quickly get to our 3 for 3 before we get out of here. We got 3 for 3 and Frank fact before we get out of here. Oh, and a Bowdoin college football update. So AD, 3 for 3. What do you got this week?
So Austin, as we both predicted last week, we thought the Chargers would cover +3 when in fact they scored 1 touchdown, I think, the Chargers last week. So
yes.
The game that we were both on was a loser, a big fat loser. We also both had the Cowboys, which was a very lucky winner in overtime. Should not have covered by any means. And I had the Jags, you had the Dolphins. So the Jags got their first victory, obviously. So I went 2-1, you went 1-2, but it's a new week. It's a new week. And this week, speaking of Jets pizza, I like the Jets. I like the Jets. I like the Jets. +7. Give them to me. Give me all those points. I also like the Bengals getting 6.5. Wait, I forgot to tell you who the Jets are playing, obviously.
The Patriots.
The Jets are playing the Patriots. Thank you. The Bengals are playing the Ravens, getting 6.5. And I also like San Francisco -3.5 versus the Colts.
Ooh, you and I will both be cheering for that one. Not because I picked them, just because I want the Colts to lose.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. But I'm going Carolina -3 over the Giants. They started 3-0, super hot. They've been anything but since then. But the Giants are just terrible. So I think Carolina starts another undefeated streak here. The Raiders -3 over the Eagles. When you get a new coach, it takes a while to get adjusted. And now
they're still adjusting.
Yeah, I think they're going to adjust. The best way to adjust to a new coach is to play the Eagles, who have been even a worse coach. So I'll say Raiders -3 over Eagles. And then football team +9.5 against the Packers. All right, look, just because Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears, quote unquote,
that doesn't mean anything. I'm glad we didn't even talk about that actually, because
he doesn't own the Washington football team, because that's owned by an even worse owner, Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder, yeah.
Right. So give me the football team +9.5.
All right. There we have it.
All right, it's that time of the week this week. AD, do you want to take a guess as to what it is?
Well, I will be able to tell you that our good friend Frank, friend of the show, Frank Ford, he gives us the fact each week, and each week we cannot stop talking about it. We cannot stop thinking about it. We just can't stop dwelling over it.
The mind blown emoji stemmed from this. Apple, I think people at Apple were listening to the Junk Drawer. They heard the Frank fact, and they said, we got to add an emoji for the what we are feeling right now. And that's where the mind blown emoji came from.
I think you're right.
Okay. You ready for this week's?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm ready.
All right. Hang on. I'm just tweeting it out. All right. Here we go. All right. Time now for the Frank fact.
Frank fact.
All right, AD. The Frank fact this week is raw oysters are still alive when you eat them. How about that? Raw oysters are still alive when you eat them.
I guess that makes sense because they're raw, right? Is this? Are we thinking about this one too much?
Well, there's not. I don't know of any other raw food that's alive when you eat it.
I guess there's. Yeah.
I mean, I guess some steak, like if you,
it can still be mooing.
Yeah, right.
Mooing. Do you like raw oysters, by the way?
No, I don't like seafood. The only seafood I like are shrimp. Yeah,
shrimp. That's right. I've heard you say that before. I've heard you say that.
I'm not a seafood guy. I just don't like it. I don't like fish.
I was in New Orleans last weekend. Speaking of Coach O and LSU and the crew,
that's a sick brag.
My fiance Brittany loves oysters, so she got, and like anytime we go somewhere that has oysters, she'll order like a few for herself, but I won't partake.
Yeah.
I tried one of these. So you could say I ate a live oyster.
And you shuck them, right? You shuck the oysters. Is that what you do?
Yeah. And you put a little like horseradish and some like cocktail sauce. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just, I can't get over the texture for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
It's too slimy. It's too like, you can't chew it really. Right. Like it's like a clam. Like you can't.
And I think my whole take on it is like, there's enough food out there that isn't slimy. So right. I'll just stick with those,
stick with those. That's a good way to look at it.
No knock at anyone that loves raw oysters. If you want to eat oysters, go eat oysters. That's fine. Cause there's going to be plenty left over. Cause I'm not eating any. I'll give me just food that doesn't I don't feel like is going to come alive halfway down my throat and slither back up my throat. And if with what we're learning about raw oysters still being alive when we eat them, they very well could. You don't know that.
Hey, so the top Google was, I said, are raw oysters? I was going to say good for you, but the top Google was alive. And they say they are, in fact, alive. I wasn't fact-checking, Frank, by any
You better
means.
not be. This is a Frank fact, damn it.
But it has to be alive or the oyster will no longer be safe to eat.
Wait, you mean if you kill it, it won't be safe to eat?
No. So it has to, alive means fresh. Like, it's like they just got it. So you have to eat it raw, I guess, to enjoy it.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's move on to our Bowdoin college football update. AD, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
So each week, Bowdoin college football is this is the number one Bowdoin college or Bowdoin. Sorry, we just pronounce it every damn week.
It's all right. We'll figure it out one of these weeks.
Bowdoin, eventually, by the time the season's over, we'll have figured out. Bowdoin College was the first college to cancel their football season last year during COVID, and so we decided to adopt them as this podcast's number one team. And each week we give an update as to, so we are the number one Bowdoin college football podcast out there.
Absolutely.
Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right. The Polar Bears in Bowdoin, are they in Bowdoin, Maine? I think.
Yeah, it's Maine. It's Maine.
But is it Bowdoin? Is that the name of the town it's in?
Yeah.
Bowdoin, Maine was where Bowdoin College is. And it's a small liberal arts college in Maine, as you can imagine. Football is obviously huge up there. If you think football is big in the SEC, you should see it in the NESCAC, okay? After every game, fans are chanting NESCAC, NESCAC. And other opposing conferences hate it because, the NESCAC is so loud and proud when it comes to their conference. But this week, the Bowdoin College football team played a game, and I don't know the results yet. I'm about to reveal them. AD and I don't know the results yet. Even though we are the number one Bowdoin college football podcast out there, we don't look up the results until live on this podcast every single week. But they are 0-4 this week. They have yet to win a game. 0-4, 0-4, I think. Is
0-4, yeah.
It's been a rough season, but this is the season that this is the week I think they turn it all around. Let's find out together.
Oh, baby.
Oh, we did it.
Let's go. Come on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We spoke this into existence. You realize that, right?
Amherst College suck our white polar bear asses.
More like Loserhurst College.
Yeah. Good one. I'll take it. Yeah, judges. Yes, we will accept that answer.
Thank you.
Amherst College, the woolly mammoths, more like the Lucy mammoths. Huh? We still got him. Look,
he's got him.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Hey, I've never felt so alive in all my life.
They beat a 3-1 team. You realize that, right?
And that's the thing. And what did we say last week? Trap week. It's a trap week for Amherst College. They're probably going in. Oh, easy win on the schedule against the Bowdoin College football Polar Bears. No. It win 20. So for our podcast audience, that they probably confused as to what the hell we're cheering at. Bowdoin won 21-14. 21-14 over Amherst College on Saturday. Next up, another elephant mascot in Tufts University.
Tufts. That's going to be a tough game.
That's what they say. That's what they say. And and then I think they have Alabama after that. Just a gauntlet of elephant mascots this week. So anyway, shout out to the Polar Bears. Love you guys. Always behind you. Look, this is
congrats on the first win.
This is the chance to turn it all around.
Victory Monday.
Look,
I got mine. They got theirs, and you're up tomorrow.
Victory
Tuesday.
That's right. The Titans play tonight, Monday Night Football. I hope they win. I so badly hope they win. I had a rough sports weekend. I had a very rough sports weekend. I don't want to talk about it. If Bowdoin wins the next 4, that's a winning season right there. That's a 5-4 season.
Hell yes, and that's a great positive outlook on the season, Austin.
Don't forget it. All right, let's get out of here, AD. You got anything for the road?
As you can see, the weather is turning, the leaves are changing, but that does not change the fact that your plants need watered.
Don't forget to water your plants, ladies and gentlemen. And guys, give us a follow on Instagram at CorkBats2. Give us a follow on all the other socials at CorkedBats. We appreciate all the support and love that you guys give us. We just want to make sports fun. That's all we want to do.
That's what we want.
And AD, do you remember how I signed this off? What is it that I say?
I wish Grit was still in here because I feel like he would know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But part of me thinks it's how you start the show, which is ahoy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.